Why do you think some students don't feel prepared for college? Well, that's kind of a tough question because some students aren't prepared because they really haven't done what they've needed to do here, and their mindset isn't there yet. It takes them a little bit long to develop, let's say. They might be kind of stuck.
I think it's our job to make sure that all students hear the same basic information in classroom guidance and other places about getting ready for college. And then I think for students whose parents didn't go to college, that they deserve extra time and attention to make sure that they understand the process and that they're getting help with the process, because we guess, and it may not always be true, that the students whose parents did go to college can help them more with college than students whose parents who did not.
So I think there's plenty of information at everybody's fingertips, especially given all the information that we have on the internet nowadays.
There is so much information about college that they probably never have enough. We can always do more.
Why do you think some students don't feel prepared for college?
Yeah, I think that, I hope you ask that of students, because I think that's a really good question for students.
I wish I had more information earlier on. When you enter high school, you should just start giving out information.
As like a school, I don't feel like we really focus on this subject, like really talking to students about like colleges and like what they want to do in the future.
Do you feel ready to take on college?
Me as a person, I say yes, I feel ready. School-wise, I would say not really, because I had to really get out on my own and kind of find information.
I compare myself to my peers from school, I know that they get more information and more help, not just only in school, but they get more help from their families, parents.
As a white, non-first generation student, I've definitely had a lot more resources just because my parents know the system and they've taught me the system, and I've always kind of just like known the path I had to be on to like be like successful like in life, or like get into a good college or meet the expectation like my parents have always set for me,
Personally, the hardest thing for me during high school was just not knowing about the system and like how things work, and I didn't even know what a GPA was. Like I just found out what a GPA was my junior year. That's just things I didn't know, and it was just kind of hard finding out my junior year because I was like, wow, like I could have done so much better if only I knew, After like I found out, I was like, this is not gonna be me. Like I know I can do way better. So I started getting my grades like way higher, and I told my crew teacher I was gonna get into NHS, National Honor Society, and I was gonna get my grades higher because I could do that if I wanted to. And she kind of doubted me a little bit, but guess what? I made it into National Honor Society my senior year, and my grades are as high as I want them to be right now. And my GPA is going up as well, and it's just things I could have all done my freshman year if I wanted to. Like not if I wanted to, but if I knew, I would have done it.
Counselors and teachers in general, when it comes to students of color, it usually is that they just want you to meet. All they care about is you going to college or you passing the class, but they're not usually encouraging you to like exceed in the class or go to a more difficult college.
In Maine, they're definitely trying to make Maine more diverse, and as my experience with guidance counselors, I feel like my guidance counselors are trying to keep me more local. If I say, like the example I used, I'm gonna go to UCLA, they're like, it's like more words of discouragement that I receive. Whereas if I was to say, I'm gonna apply for USM, that they would be like, yeah, you can definitely do that. But when it comes to like farther schools, it's like, oh, you should think more about staying local. Like, it's like more words of discouragement when it comes to that. So yeah, that's my experience with that.
So difficult, like personally, so difficult to go into person. I'm like, this is what I need help with, you know. In most cases, I'll be like, I was thinking myself, what does she expect me to do? And then if it's about a question that I would actually do on my own, I would fear to ask her, or fear to ask for help, because I'll be like, she will say I'm like kind of lazy, or maybe criticize me for something.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I would just maybe figure this out, but at the end of it, I end up doing it at last time or just failing.
With like the honor roll, I did not know about it until junior year, which was like already too late because they pick students junior year. White people like already knew about this when they were a freshman or when they were going to middle school, because their parents went to like a high school rather than my parent. Like my mom didn't ever go to high school. She didn't even finish like elementary school, so she didn't even like know how to help me. She was always like, you know, try to do good grades, have good grades. She didn't know that like I have to do other programs and play sports, and she was always like, why are you doing so much? Why are you always doing this? You know, you're never home, you know, you need to like relax sometimes. I was like, I can't relax, I have to do all this stuff.
A really important thing is not to discourage students, because at the end of the day, it's like not really about whether or not you think it's like that they can do it or not, that they can get in or not. It's about like helping them so they can get in, and I feel like they don't do enough of that.
If they don't encourage you and your parents at home don't encourage you because they also don't understand, then you're just there